All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Command Your Brand show. I'm your host, Josh Silvestro, brand ambassador of Command Your Brand, where we interview CEOs and founders that run their own successful companies. And today I actually have a very special guest speaker who is actually a personal friend of mine. I've known for, I don't know, 20 years. I feel it's a little longer than that, but he's a really amazing CEO and founder. He actually runs dental offices, and he's actually a very successful business owner. So I'd like to introduce you guys to Rushi Trivedi. So Rushi, thanks for coming to the show.
Of course. I know you from the hospital.
That's right.
Yes, you look like nice.
Yeah. So I guess for people who don't know a little bit about you and, people don't know who you are, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and then the company that you're kind of running and also your background a bit?
Yes. So I am born and raised in India.
Mm-hmm.
Normally when I speak, I say I was born and raised in Alabama, and you can see from my accent. I'm an engineer, civil engineer, and I did my master's in computer science, master in finance, software company on Wall Street.
Wow.
And I think when I was around 35, 37, you get this cognition that what are you going after? And my son was 3, kind of evaluating where am I going. And I realized Wall Street, the only goal was making money. It's a good goal, but not full time.
Yeah.
And my wife, she's a dentist, and she out of school, she started her office, and we are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week, but there was no real there was nothing really happening except making money. There was no change being made, or the children education was, my son was 3. I can outsource to school, college, and the whole system. So I sat down and I said, what, something got to change. So I asked my wife, why don't you quit and let's work together in my business? And she said, no, you better quit. I'm not quitting. And I accepted that because her goal was just helping others, whereas my goal was making money. So it was kind of thought, this good goal was a shitty goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I decided to change. I closed down my business. Took me a few years, and I'm home now. And I realized I had enough money to survive for a long time. And someone said, why don't you work for Shilpa, my wife? You're a businessman and you know how to run businesses. And I joined her. One of the things, Josh, I learned in life since very young, a teenager, if you want something here, find something at least 20 times bigger than you, 10 times bigger than you. So if I'm entering dentistry, I'm just going to be having a gain. And the dentistry was I found it's a good business or profession because it's good income and you can really help people, and you can make money, you can donate and all these things, but it's a helping people business. So I found a guy who was doing 20x than my wife.
Wow.
I seek advice, and he gave me some advice, and I said, and also I'm very kind of, if you know something's working for someone, only way I'll find out by doing myself. Just there's no thinking, just doing it. And we now 25x than what we started.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Only going 100x soon. Yeah.
Wow. And so what did you find? Because obviously you run successful dentist office, and like what did you find were the key successes that you found in running those businesses?
So see, every business has, we call it the physical universe, right? And any business, it be a family or business. So people think physical universe is important, like having nice buildings and carpets and wall and decoration and location. What I found, the most important aspect of any business is people. And what I mean by people, who are on front line when my customer is passing through. Let's call it sales line, right? They go to reception or general assistant. So I found people who really were interested in what I was doing. So I would probably interview 60 to 80 people to find one.
Wow.
Yeah. And that is my key to success. I'm patient. I have probably interviewed 11,000 plus people, maybe 15,000.
Yeah.
And then I find these people who align with what I'm thinking. And I wanted a fun game for customer patients. Like they get, what is this place? Wow. If you see, we are the highest rated dental office in New York City.
Wow.
5,000 reviews, something like that.
Yeah.
9 of open aid between 2 locations. And that is a key to success, the people and the training.
Right.
People and the training, yeah.
That's so interesting because I know I think I've worked obviously in some dentist offices, like besides, I know, fun fact is I used to work for Mr. Rushi here for a brief period, but I know a lot of dentist offices, like the hardest thing I found that a lot of people just weren't trained or weren't certain of what they were doing in a lot of places. Yes. And the office sort of just kind of ran down because it was just none of the staff knew what they were doing and how to get the products. So I think it's kind of interesting what you're mentioning is how patient you have to be with some of these guys, right?
Yes. If I ask you to pause, you can pause, right?
I mean, we can pause here, but also too, you can always tell me.
Yeah. Can I mention Hubbard technology or no?
Sure, you can mention a little bit, not the religious part, but you can mention the other side as well.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So you can tell me, it's okay.
Yeah. So then I met this guy who was doing. Actually, also I found Josh. One other thing I found, I came to America at 22 with just nothing and created an empire. More successful the person is, more willing they are to help you. People just assume the successful person have a closed door. And my success in Wall Street, in real estate, in investing business, a lot of things I do. I just don't do dentistry. I have multiple things going on. I'm a speaker. I have given seminars to 6,000 dentists so far.
Wow.
The most important part was finding successful people and asking them. And one of the successful action I got when I joined Shilpa, I met a dentist who grew his practice tremendously fast, like double in 1 year.
Wow.
Right? And I said, what's your secret? He said, I found this technology, called it a management technology. Like what is technology means? Like you do A and B happens. It's kind of a methods of applications.
Right.
And the technology of management was designed or developed by Mr. Hubbard, L. Ron Hubbard. And we found that I became the biggest client of the company. They train dentists in Florida. I became a partner now. And that's our success. And this is just a start. We're going to take over dentistry. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing too, is because, I've met a lot of people who wanted to be successful as dentists or run their own office, but they never really learned the tools because as you know, when you become a dentist, all you're learning about is how to be a dentist. You don't really learn how to be a practicing dentist and how to be successful in your field and actually do it. So I think that's where a lot of dentists have trouble is when they have their own practice or even just regular people who are chiropractors or anyone like that. And they have a difficult time just operating their own business because they never learned how to be a business owner as a dentist or as a chiropractor or as a physical therapist or anything like that. So I think it's really interesting what you mentioned is between you and your wife who own a business because you're the business side of it and then show up as the dentist. So it's kind of like a really good 1-2 punch you can say on that. So I think it's really interesting and very fascinating.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct. Yes.
And so are you also a trained dentist or are you just more administrative?
I am an engineer, finance, computer.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And what did you find because obviously your wife, who's very interested in dentists, being a dentist and teeth and things like that, what made you decide to I want to work in this field of being in a dentistry area?
So let's go back now, philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up in India and my father was quite successful businessman.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of farms like wheat and mango and peanuts and stuff. So every summer I will go to this countryside and hang out farm with all the farmers. And what I loved about this farming business, the husband, wife, the children, uncle, aunt, they all work together. And I just loved it.
Yeah.
I made a decision that going forward, I'm going to create something where we work together. Right. So I did Wall Street. My wife is dentist. I'm running around. I'm all over the world doing my software projects.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no family.
Hmm.
The family was 2 weeks vacation.
Wow.
Or some dinners. So I wanted 24/7 family. I'm answering your question about what motivated. Then I decided to join Shalpa, and they made a decision that I'm going to have my children look into it. Not, you don't force people.
Right.
And both my children, since they were like 2-year-old, they've been looking into various businesses, not dentistry only.
Yeah.
They made very early on decision they'll be business people. By the time they were 12, they decided, not dentists or something. And they became a dentist because you need a license to grow and buy practices. So the whole idea was was maza means my email. Maza means fun.
Yeah. Fun. I like that.
Maza is fun. So the whole idea was create fun. And the most fun you have when you play a game with people you like. Right. So I created that game that I can work with my wife, my children. Now my son became a CEO for a company at 27. Right.
Wow.
He owns the whole show. I'm out now. I'm in investing in real estate and speaking now. So the goal was to work together and have fun. And it didn't matter dentistry or software or real estate or hotel or nothing mattered. So that was achieved. And now, actually, Josh, I speak to hundreds of families now around the world. How to create family is aligned in the similar games.
Yeah.
Everybody's scattered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so fascinating because, I've had quite a number of people on this show, and a lot of them, a lot of them are mothers, have their own business, and the fathers got their own business. So it's like, I always see them as like, it's so kind of odd, but also kind of interesting how like their lives are sort of like intertwined in their own work, but never. And then when they come, it's like this little time they have together as a family, but they kind of help each other sometimes, but it's never really actually like working together. They're just, they help a little bit here and there, but really they're focusing on their own business. So I think that's something I really appreciate too. It's like you have your whole family just kind of came together and actually just started a business and are running with a business of doing something. So that's fine. That's really, really fascinating to me.
And Josh, there's a bigger purpose behind just family. To build strong nation, you need to build strong families. And to bring strong families, you need to bring strong individuals. So a dental consulting business in Florida where we train dentists, we create strong individuals, the dentists themselves.
Yeah.
When I speak, and I have made at least 200-300 couple quit either job to join their spouses. And now they have a stronger families. The children are being taken care of. And this whole idea is kind of, how do you bring strong civilization? And that's a bigger goal by having strong individuals and strong families. So if I'm going to tell the world you can do it, before I tell them, I had to do it myself.
Yeah.
So I did it. Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's a big demand.
Yeah. And so now your kids now run the office now, right? Or is it? That's amazing. That's like, and it's just really cool because now they see as you guys are like opinion leaders of like in your fields of like business or being a dentist, and like they just come in and they're now just taking over. That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So what do you find now? Because I know a lot of people also have trouble with this. Is like they're, they have a workforce, but sometimes they're part of the team, but kind of not really, or they're not really part of the team. And I think a lot of people are frustrated with team members who are not sort of part of the team, or they don't know what they're doing because of either lack of like understanding of their job or working in this field or what. Like, what do you find is the key to actually really working together as a group and being a group?
So step one, you find people, as I mentioned, who are really interested in you, your business, your patients. So that's step one. And you never compromise on that. Someday he will be interested. No, that's starting point. And then after that, you train them. Like our training, initial training is 1 week and then goes on for 3 months.
Wow.
Now, actually, I have taken 6 months off from all the cycles, and I'm writing it, the heading, training material in new unit of time, because I have written 5-6 times, but we have outgrown every single training material.
Yeah.
Before we only had 2 posts, front desk and a back desk. Now we have 67 posts.
Wow.
Right? And we have training material for only like 27 or maybe 20 of them. So next 6 months I'm writing. So once you find people who are interested in you and you're interested in them, you train them so thoroughly. The reason actually, Mr. Hubbard says, the most people object, like they fight, is not having fun. 99% people, this beings fight not having fun. So how do you create fun? Okay, you can give them pool table or some food, but that's not fun. The real fun comes when they can win on their position, their post. They can control their post. And that's like a horse rider. He can control his riding, or a baseball player. He can control his bat. It's the same exact principle. So you train your people, they can control it so well and can produce a product. That's tremendous fun.
Yeah.
And another logic I have is I'm playing football, and if someone wants to play basketball, it's nothing wrong, but they can't play with me. I will not change my football rules to adjust to that.
Right.
So a lot of small businesses, they do that. An employee will say, but why don't you do this for me as a special favor? No, it's good. Your request is good, but you can't with me.
Right.
Play somewhere else.
Right.
That firm demarcation that Mr. Hubbard has this word, fast flow hiring.
Mm-hmm.
Fast flow means you keep hiring, and I never actually hired anyone for the post. I found someone and then created the post.
Right.
I did reverse.
Yeah.
So right now we found people to create course supervisors, trainers, company trainers. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't need it right now, but I'm creating 5 company trainers.
Wow, that's awesome. So then, obviously, for you, you've also spoken at like conferences and seminars. You've also helped dentists become more successful and more making them more aware of a business in terms of being a dentist, how to actually run it correctly. What do you find are some things that people do in their offices that are that they're not correct, and what do you find that you correct the most with dentists in running their business?
So very good question.
Yeah.
As you mentioned earlier, majority of the dentists or chiropractor or whatever profession they are, they spend 8 years becoming the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
They spend almost 95 to 100% of time delivering products, which is dentistry or whatever. It never occurs to them they should be the trainer for their own people. It never occurs. What I did when I joined Shilpa, and she had 6-7 people, and as I mentioned, football, basketball analogy, and she's doing X. I want to do 20X. I had a lofty goals. So these 5 people gave me opposition. I removed everyone.
Wow.
Because they were expecting me to change the rules to suit them. So that kind of heat it generates. So now dentists become a trainer. He has this kind of swag or aura that don't mess with me. This is what I'm playing. I'm going to go for it. Don't. And then you carve out 1 day per week. And you train, nobody else trains, no manager is training it. And you can afford this thing until like your 20, 30 employees.
Wow.
1 day per week. Then you have to hire people and stuff.
Yeah.
Any dentists have done that? Have done extremely well, my clients. And even actually, like, when you train your children yourself versus you outsource to school and music classes and dance classes, I call it lazy parenting. I'm writing a book. Actually, I'm going to have the whole campaign in the next 4 years all over the world. Lazy parenting. And when you have a lazy parenting, your children are raised by system, colleagues, friends, education system. I want to raise my children myself. Like my daughter, she became the youngest dentist in America at 22.
Wow.
She joins a company as she's working for one of our clients. She increases the revenue by 50% in 9 months.
Wow.
50%. The 22-year-old girl just applying the principle of don't mess with me. I'm going to train you. I'm going to take my heart out to train you people. And so that's a successful action by both with my children, where I can outsource them, and running my companies.
Wow. That's intense. I might have to get hands when I have children. I'm going to get the hands of that book.
Yes. Actually, I'm going to be all over TikTok, Insta.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. Create strong families.
That's great. I think it's so important too, because, if you're creating your own thing, it's like you have to have your family, contribute to something also too. It's like, when you have kids, like the kids want to contribute. And I think that's just a really good way to contribute and help your fellow parents who are trying to make a good living for themselves, but also for you. And I think that's something I really appreciate is just the art of, and it's like, I had, I don't know if you know him. I had Andre D'Agostini on, I don't know, about a month ago.
Yes, I know him. I heard him. Good.
Yes.
Speaker.
Very, very amazing guy. And he said, it's be a founder, being a CEO, being a business owner is an art, like it's a way of creating. It's like being an artist. You have to keep creating on the same thing over and over. And that's something I really appreciate about you. Like you have the ability to create a business. That's something everyone is good at. And also you got your kids involved where they're now good at it and they can actually just accomplish it and do it. So I think that's such an amazing tool. And I think it's such a very powerful thing that people have,
Yes. And since with going on parenting side, the Mr. Hubbard has a book called Way to Happiness. On chapter 17, he says, the most important responsibility of parents towards children is to make them look. You don't force them. You just make them look. And they look at options. And invariably, they're going to pick up most survival options. But what parents do, they force. The system forces them. The friends forces them. When I say, look, my son, before he turned 14, he looked at probably 20, 30 professions. And he picked at 14 firmly that I'm going to be CEO.
Wow.
Because he saw CEOs have tremendous freedom. It's bigger games, tremendous freedom.
Yeah.
So same thing with employees. You make them look at the future, what will happen. And the looking part is not done properly. Metaphor I gave you, Josh, is let's say you go to buffet, right?
Yeah.
And you get 4 items. You're going to pick from 4 items.
Yeah.
And then you say, I like this item. And everybody will say, oh, he loves this item. He's passionate about this item. Oh, fuck, I'm sorry. You only do 4 items.
Yeah.
That's why I picked one of them. You have to give hundreds of items over 3-4 year period to your children.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And so for you, because obviously I know you've spoken to thousands of people, or especially, dentists, and getting them business rolling. Can you name like a success story that you've had with someone who was just like, wow, like I really helped this person to really just be a big, fantastic business, and it just kind of grew?
So I had an associate working for me, very bright guy, clinically super bright guy in Harlem, Manhattan.
Yeah.
And he had 3 offices, Brooklyn, Harlem, and somewhere. And he, between 3, was doing 70,000 collection.
Wow.
And he was stressed out 7 days a week and working for me for every Monday for surgery or something. And I liked the guy. And I asked him to join the company, the training company in Florida. And he said, no, Rushi, I don't have time, blah, blah, blah. And so the viewpoint I carried towards him, because we became friends over 5 years, and I knew his stress. And I knew if I know CPR and someone is dying, I'll give CPR. I don't give a damn what they do to me. They're going to kick me, punch me, but I'm going to give CPR.
Yeah.
I looked the same exact way about him, that he's suffering. I had to give him CPR. I took his credit card. I called the company in Florida, charged him $15,000-$20,000, whatever it is. Rest is history.
Yeah.
Closed his 2 offices down.
Wow.
In 1 office, he's doing $1 million a month.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's amazing.
$1 million a month?
Collection.
How big is the office?
6 rooms.
Oh my God.
But I never seen a salesperson like him. He's a good surgeon, though. His treatment costs $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000.
Wow.
It's not like your typical fillings and crowns.
Yeah.
But that's one of my success story. And he thinks of me as a god. Like he said, Rushi, nobody has cared for me as much you cared for me that day.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. That's so wild. Like, there are people out there that are just, they may not know everything, but they do something right. And it's like, they're just successful. And like, I think it's so cool that like, and amazing how you teach people how people can be successful in a business, or let alone in being a dentist, you know what I mean? So I find that such an amazing thing that you're able to do,
And no, that's only one example. Many of my clients have gone double, triple, 5 times. This guy went really high.
Wow. That's amazing. Yes. Well, Rushi, I know we're cutting close here, but I do appreciate your time. And I love the fact that you kind of gave me the opportunity to interview, because I respect you. And I think a lot of people do respect you. And I'm sure you'll probably share it with a lot of people. But I guess for people who don't know you and they kind of want to maybe maybe they want to come to one of your seminars, or they want to get in touch with you and becoming more successful in their office or their business as a dentist or anything like that, where can people find you or kind of get in touch with your team about it?
So my company website is mgeonline.com. M for Mary, G for George, E for Edward, mgeonline.com. And we train dentists. And my email is maza at AOL.com. Maza at AOL.com. And let's have fun.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rushi, for taking the time to really just letting me interview you. And I really think it's really important too, because I do have a lot of people who are listening to this that are also dentists, that are also business owners, that are also different fields, but they always want to look for help. They want to look for, how can I benefit something, and how can I get more out of my business so I can actually grow and expand? Because a lot of people, as you know, they don't know what to do and they're trying to figure it out. And I think you're a really good opinion for people to go to, be like, okay, what do I do next? Like, what's the next step? What's the next level? And I think that's so important.
Yes, we can help people. Yes.
Yes.
I love helping.
Awesome. Well, anyways, thank you for the time here. And of course, I thank everyone here for listening to this channel. If you guys like this stuff, like and subscribe, and definitely reach out to Rushi if you have any questions or you guys want help with your business. He's definitely there to help you. And of course, I will see you next time. And Rushi, thank you for appearing here.
Thank you, boss. You're awesome. I love you're fun, man. I love
Yes, I am. I try to be.
You're not serious. I like that.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you.